Very exciting times in my garden, folks. You guys know we are coming into the spring season, which means the blooming party is about to begin. So very exciting times in my garden, and I want to share with you my buds and also my blooms. And if we take a look-see in this area right here, you are going to see my Cattleya mounting station. And I have mounted a variety of Cattleyas, but if we take a look-see over in this area right here, you are seeing the Cattleya lutomaniana coming into bloom. And how beautiful and how lovely is she with its very beautiful lavender color. And check out that gorgeous lip right there. Wonderful patterns on that lip. And we also have another sheath right here, as you can see. And I am also feeling some buds developing there. So we'll get more blooms off of this beauty. This is the beautiful lutomaniana. Taking a look at this mounting station from another angle, you will see that there is another type of Cattleya variety in bud right there. I do believe this is a chocolate drop of some sort. I'm not quite sure, guys, but this does bloom dainty little beautiful, very vibrant orange blooms. Speaking of vibrant blooms, take a look at this fiery beauty right here. Oh my goodness. So explosive in color with that fiery orange and red combination right there. Look how those colors beautifully infuse and combine together. So gorgeous. And what I do love most about this right here, this is such a reliable bloomer and definitely always gets the blooming party started, usually blooming at the end of winter or right at the beginning of spring. And check out all of those blooms. She will normally bloom about 2 to 3, but even 4 blooms per spike. And as you can see, all throughout. Just quite a gorgeous beauty. Oh my. This is the BLC Lily Marie Almas. And will you guys check out this charmer right here? Quite a handsome fella, if I do say so myself. And what I do love most is the intriguing formation of the blooms, even with the way that tongue sticks out at you. And I have to say, my most favorite part about this Vanda right here is the fact that it is so strongly and very beautifully fragrant, smelling much like plumeria. Having that lingering scent throughout my garden is quite amazing on this, and a scent that lasts from day to also night. So yes, indeed, again, this is a charming Vanda and is also a Denisoniana cross. And if we do take a look to the back, you will see another Vanda that's coming into spike and bud right here. So we'll be able to enjoy this one, and I'm not quite sure what this one is. I do believe I got this from Lowe's. So this is a no name, but still a beauty. Taking a look within my hanging section, this right here is actually a combination of different varieties of Oncidiums, but we do have a particular Oncidium right here, a dainty little one that is in spike and in bloom. And this is an Oncidium Twinkle. Look how adorable and how precious those dainty little blooms are. And speaking of Oncidium, guys, let's take a look at my most favorite one of all. Look at this species variety that was given to me by Todd's of Todd's Tropical. And look how it is growing right outside of a seashell. Look at that, guys. How wonderful. Look at these spikes. We have 3 of them coming along, and I'm so very excited to see this one bloom. And on this clump of Vandas right here, I'm so excited to see this one finally come into bloom. This is the very first time that this is blooming for us. So loving the very dainty look on this. A very nice pastel yellow, and then that very nice lavender purple tongue. And if we take a look, what's even more exciting is it has a second spike right there. And even though I can't get a good full view of the tag, I can still tell you what it is. This is the Vanda tessellata times with a Vanda testacea. And special thank you to my neighbors who's providing the music courtesy of them. Ah, gotta love your neighbors. And on this fella right here, I don't know how well you can see it, but right there, guys, it is a little spiky wikey. This is also a first time bloomer for me. And it is a Vanda tricolor variable suaves times with a Vanda Louisvilliers. So that's going to be a very exciting combination on that one right there. Very interesting. I'll be excited to see this one bloom and also to show you guys. And since we're bringing up the Vanda Louisvilliers, we have this one right here, and this is what this one is. And you are seeing it in spike, but take a look-see even closer right there. That's going to be its second spike. I always love this one because it has a very nice dark burgundy and also has a mermaid-like tail, if you can believe that. So I'm very happy to see this one in spike. We also have this no-name Vanda right here in spike, and I do believe this is going to be a very heavily spotted orange and red variety. And this Vanda right here is a Kultana Gold crossed with a Tessellata, and as you can see, she is ready to start blooming. I know I'm so ready for her to start blooming. And right here, guys, we have the Epidendrum. Look how beautiful and richly colored in magenta are these clusters of beautiful blooms right here. And this is also known as the Crucifix Orchids, as you can see, with the crucifix or those crosses that are sticking straight up. How beautiful and very interesting are they? And they're also blooming throughout as well. Look how beautiful those dainty blooms are. And on this very creative display, if I do say so myself, this is actually a display that I created from a bush, believe it or not. The bush actually died, but the actual mounted orchids that were on here stayed alive, so I just kept the entire bush and made a display out of it. So on this display, you are seeing all sorts of Dendrobium Nobley, and these are always springtime bloomers. So this is another one that always gets the blooming party started. And look at that, here's another variety. And if we come around this mounting display right here, we also have a pot. And you guys may remember this one right here. This is my specimen size that usually is cascading downwards. Well, I staked it up this time. And as you can see, it is in bud, but also in gorgeous, very beautiful blooms as well. Always giving me tons of blooms. Take a look here, guys. Look at that. Do you see these huge spikes right here coming off of my ground growing orchid? This is the Tankervillea, also known as the Nun's Cap, and it is quite a gorgeous blooming orchid. This will continue to spike and we'll have so many blooms off of this very tremendous spike. Look at that. How exciting. This one right here, guys, this one right here is always one of my all-time favorites. This is the Wrinkled Laelia Dig Fionna. And oh my goodness, do you see the fringe and the hairs and the texture on the lip of this gal right here? It is so amusing and unbelievable to know that this is coming from a flower, a Cattleya variety type as well. How gorgeous and very interesting is this? And what I do love the most about this is its very intoxicating fragrance that you can definitely detect as soon as this comes into bloom. And this is one that normally will give off majority of its fragrance at night. And when you smell the lime, citrus, lemony scent off of this, it is just so beautiful and so scrumptious. Again, quite a very unique and beautiful bloomer. And this one right here, guys, is a Dendrobium aggregatum or aggregatum, however you guys want to pronounce that. And it is mounted on a piece of driftwood. Here's yet another one, same variety. But this one right here has come into spike. And will you check out these gorgeous blooms? Look at the colors on this. Such an intense egg yolk color, almost fluorescent, guys. That's how brightly colored these are. And even though this has only but one spike, you do see it does give you a nice cluster of those blooms. But if you can imagine this having several spikes, because when this becomes large, you can have, oh, just a number of spikes coming right out and cascading beautifully, just like this right here. So vivid, so vibrant, and so whimsical are these beautiful and gorgeous blooms. And let us take a look-see into my orchid kennel and see if we can spot anything in bloom in here. Hey, take a look over here. Do you see it? It's not in bloom, it is in frog. No, just kidding. It is in spike, right there. And I don't quite know exactly what variety, species this Phalaenopsis is. I've actually lost the tag. But again, this is in spike and also in frog. Actually, here is one right there. It's a Cattleya type. I'm not quite sure exactly what this one is either. I've lost the actual tag on this one too. But it appears to be some form of Arantiaca, maybe hybrid. I'm not quite sure. But whatever it is, it's a beautiful, dainty orange color and very lovely. This Dendrobium Bracteosum right here, believe it or not, has been in bloom for about 4 months, which is the norm for this type of orchid. But yes, this is such a long-lasting bloomer right here and is quite spectacular in the way that it blooms. All of these miniature, tiny clusters of these blooms right here, and it ends up looking like quite a puffball of a shape, if you will. Gorgeous colors on these too as well, with that lavender, purple, pink color. And as you're seeing with that tongue, it's a very reddish orange. So what a color combination on these. And this one right here, I do believe is my Densa Florrum or my Farmerii. I believe this is my Densa Florrum. And I always love to see this one in spike because look at all of those blooms. Aren't they just gorgeous? And this one actually has 3 spikes that are coming along right now. But soon and very soon, I do believe it's going to give even more because I'm noticing a lot of nubbins and new growths that are coming about as well. And my dog's barking, so hold that thought. So soon and very soon, guys, we should have a bountiful harvest of these very beautiful pink and yellow blooms off of what I believe is the Dendrobium densiflorum. And right here is yet another cluster of soon to be beautiful blooms, and this one is coming off of my Dendrobium Amethyst. I do have to say I was very excited to find a spike. Look at that. Coming off of my Vanda Cindy Banks, my most favorite Vanda of all. So excited because this has such a bold and beautiful bloom that is also very sweetly fragrant. My Vanda Cindy Banks, yay! And taking a look at this Bulbophyllum or Bulbophyllum, however you guys want to pronounce that, this one right here you can see is situated within a bread basket. Yum yum, guys. And take a look at this. Aww, look at this adorable little spike. So we should have a flower off of this very interesting orchid. And right here is my crazy vanilla vine of a gal right here that is so clutchy and clingy and wants to grab a hold of anything and everything that it can. As you are seeing right there where she is grabbing a hold of my birds of paradise, believe it or not. And I've actually had to cut her loose several times, and even making cuttings out of her because there were times I couldn't get her loose. So yeah, crazy gal. Well, last year she gave me 2 buds or 2 bud clusters, and this year she's given me 1, also 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Take a look at that, guys. So 7 bloom clusters off of this vanilla vine so far. I'm so excited, and this year we'll see if we can propagate it and get us some vanilla beans. How about that, guys? Now this particular hybridized hibiscus right here, I gotta tell you, is one of the most gorgeous hibiscuses I have ever seen. And this one I consider a tropical vacation within a bloom, with the beautiful Hawaiian sunset colors and also the beautiful, huge, and wonderfully formed blooms on this. And as we take a look closer, you will see, guys, that they are starting to create its buds. And we're gonna have so many of them, guys, because it's all throughout. I can't wait to share just how beautiful these are with you. And if we take a look within my Tibibui tree, also what I like to call my orchid tree, you will see that it is beginning to bloom. And I have to tell you, these are such show-stopping clusters of big trumpet blooms. Almost fluorescent yellow, so intense and captivating. This tree right here catches the most attention from the roadside. I know you guys hear those cars going by, but I tell you what, there are so many cars that have stopped just to take pictures of my Tibibui tree. So this is a tree that I'm awfully proud of, and also is a tree that protects and helps to grow all of my plants within my garden. So it is a vital part of my jungle paradise, and I love it so much. I also have many of my bromeliads that are coming into bloom as well, and as you can see, they always have very interesting looking blooms. Look at that. And usually you will find the bracts even beautifully colored, and within those bracts are where you'll find the actual miniature blooms. This bromeliad right here, although it's not that much to look at, the blooms are what I find so interesting on this. This is the Bulbophyllum bromeliad type. And if we take a look, this right here, that flamingo pink, is actually the bract and can be easily mistaken for the flower petals because of its beautiful colors, but they are not. The actual flowers itself are right here. And when they first begin to open, they're more straight downwards. But as they open up, you will see that they'll curl backwards. Look at all those curls right there. How interesting of a shape. And then what's even more interesting again is the beautiful colors, that flamingo pink. And then coming down, you'll see some blues in there. You'll also see the yellows in the pollen. And of course, that beautiful green. So what a nice and beautiful and very interesting combination on this bloom right here. You will also find that some of these bromeliads will actually give off berry-like structures. See those orange elongated berries? And then you will actually find the flower, which you could see right there, is a purplish color. Those will be the miniature flowers, but very interesting spike and also bloom structure as it cascades down. This bromeliad right here is known as the cryptanthus, also called the hidden flower. Well, here's why. Those flowers right here are so inconspicuous, and they bloom flattened to the actual bromeliad, or compact and low to the bromeliad that sometimes you might not even hardly see it. So that is why it's called the hidden flower. Quite interesting. And speaking of interesting blooms, I don't think it gets any more interesting than the blooms that come off of my birds of paradise. And they're also in bloom as well, but I gotta tell you, they are actually in bloom all year round for me here in Florida, even in the winter time. And as you can see, I mean, always in bloom, each and every one of them. How gorgeous and interesting are they? And these are not in bloom, and they're not in bud either. They are in balls, and big hairy balls on top of that. This is my milkweed, and that is exactly what it's called, the big hairy balls. And I know you guys can see why. How interesting and very amusing are these shapes. And they're just like balloons, guys. I mean, inflated. If you squeeze too hard, I believe you'll pop them. So don't squeeze too hard on these big hairy balls. Very, very interesting shapes. And I do love them. Adds quite a nice ornamental appeal to any yard. And of course, for those that like very interesting and weird and very strange plants, well, this is the plant for you. And of course, you guys know these are the Amaryllis, and I do have Amaryllis blooming throughout. And these beautiful orangey, reddish colored honeysuckles as well. And you guys know butterflies absolutely love these, and also hummingbirds. So hopefully I'll get a lot of visitors for these this year. And this right here is my multiflora Hoya, also known as a shooting star. And we are gonna have a bunch of shooting stars soon, because I do have a couple of peduncles already forming on this. So that's going to be really lovely to see. And there you have it, folks. That is a basic overview of all of the buds and all of the blooms that are coming about in my garden. But as I stated before, the blooming party is just starting. So definitely stay tuned for more, as I will be sharing with you all of the happenings within my garden. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another episode of my orchid and also my plant paradise adventures. Thank you guys so much, and I truly do appreciate it, and I love you guys all. See you guys later on my next adventure. Bye bye for now. Mwah.